Hi everyone, I'm John.
I'm Joni.
And we got our Buffalo Bills shirt on, and
Go Bills.
go Bills. I hope everybody's doing good. So I was watching this. Today's topic is basically um, doubt, I guess. But we were just watching this podcast on YouTube. Next Level Soul, is that what it's called?
Right.
Next Level Soul, I guess. Yeah, and it's good. We like it. Guy started a podcast and all about esoteric spirituality, everything. But check it out, Next Level Soul.
It's great. It's great. He has good guests.
It's good guests.
Yeah, very good.
And this lady was on there who had a near-death experience, but said something that resonated with me. It's what I deal with, doubt, in this whole spiritual world. And what do I mean by that? Well, I am what you would call a psychic, intuitive. She calls me a medium. I don't call me a medium. I don't think I'm that. But ever since I was a kid, I saw people who had passed over, so-called dead people. I've since learned that we're more dead than they are. Most people living are more dead than they are. They're more aware. But my point, though, is even to this day, I still doubt it. I still go, what? I've seen so many miracles. I've seen so much stuff occur. I remember, I recall, I was at living in my car. So I went through this whole spiritual
Revolution.
yeah.
Evolution, revolution.
Yeah, realization, whatever. Hit me like a ton of bricks, right? And I got my book, Life, the Ultimate Puzzle, that I have. I just need to publish it and get it out there. But it's been many, many years. And I went through the spiritual revolution, whatever, and I thought, well, shoot, everything that I've been taught my whole life was a lie. It's been totally wrong. God's not vengeful. God's not hateful. God is loving, kind. Everything that I was told about life and
You're not going to burn in hell?
you're not going to burn in hell, but everything, it was like, so I went on this spiritual journey. I got really pissed off. And then I thought, okay, this is kind of like this information needs to be told. And, I had followed psychics growing up, like Sylvia Brown, honestly, because she was in Santa Clara. I grew up in San Jose, California. And so I was always fascinated by it. But so I said, okay, this, has to be shared, this information. So I said, well, they don't listen to John Bliss. They don't even know who John Bliss is, but they listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's a big-time actor. Even though he may or may not know what he's talking about, it's irrelevant. It's a platform. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be an actor to get a platform, to get a name, to be able to spread this message, that, hey, we're much greater than what we originally thought we were, and that life is really not what you think it is. It's way more, and it's good. It's really good. And so my goal was to become an actor, to get a name, gonna write, direct, produce, and I wanted to put shows out there and everything like that, that were basically showed everybody living together, all races, genders, whatever, just everybody in a house, they were just going to school, but never bring up race, never bring up gender, never bring if somebody's up gay or anything like that. Just they're living. So I don't put attention to it. It's just normal.
Right. Right.
That was sort of my goal. I didn't.
That's the perfect world, isn't it? Nobody brings attention to it. We just all coexist in a peaceful, happy way.
Yeah. Because I think, part of the problem with the sidetrack, though, is I think they keep putting attention to it, which just creates the issue.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
they always bring up race somehow, bring up a person's gender, or they bring up whether
Yeah.
they're homosexual or not, and it's like, who cares,
Right.
right? Um,
So that's beside the point, but yeah.
but that was sort of my goal. My goal was to do that and to be able to get a name and then do this content, basically. Talk about my experiences, positive thoughts, positive deeds, positive action. And then it didn't really work out, obviously, but the journey's not over. But I got real sick. I was on the set of Disney, actually, filming a movie called Gross Anatomy. And I got really sick, living in my car. And so I went back from LA back up north to the San Francisco area, San Jose, back actually Mountain View, California, and was not well. I needed to heal.
Yeah.
I think I was just exhausted, not eating, the whole stress living in the car for a good time. I was actually married at the time, so I mean, it was a real.
It was a rough time.
Not good, and I wasn't the greatest. And then from there, I, of course, then moved to Arizona because I just needed to get out of California, get away from everything. And I knew kind of about real estate, how to buy it with no money down. Found a house out here in Phoenix, Arizona, that is now not the greatest part of town, right?
Yeah, but that was a long time
ago. Time ago. It was my first house. It was a great house, But I got hooked up with this group, CSETI. It's a Stephen Greer group, actually, that go out and look for extraterrestrials because I've always been fascinated with extraterrestrials. And that'll be my next topic. So we're going to really delve into the extraterrestrials and UFOs because it's time for me to just come out with that as well and just talk about my experiences since I was a kid and all that. So that's a little teaser for you. It's time to get really deep into this stuff. But this group that went out and looked for extraterrestrials, Stephen Greer, was more of a meditation group than anything else. And I really kind of learned how to meditate and didn't know jack from Shiola and ground yourself and all this kind of stuff, which I don't think you really need to do. I think you're already grounded every day. But anyways, neither here nor there. In the midst of this meditation and a couple of these group sessions, we would sit around and all of a sudden I started channeling, which we'll have to do as well. That's another avenue we're going to start going into, the collective. I started channeling this group called the Collective. That's all they call themselves. But anyways, woke up, whatever, and everyone was looking at me, and I'm like, what happened here? They go, you don't remember what you just did? And I'm like, nope, because I thought I was meditating. I was just in meditation. But apparently the Collective, this voice started coming through me, Irish brogue. And they're like, you just gave everybody readings here, and you said you were well, they didn't, I don't think they called themselves the Collective at that time, but you just gave this whole speech in this different dialect. And I go, I did? I didn't know it, didn't recall it, didn't know anything. And that was the start of me going, wow, oh, interesting. And then I got introduced to this Church of the Living Spirit. It's a spiritualist church where someone brought me to, and they actually give readings in this church. It's a real church, right? And you've been to it.
I've been there.
They give readings, and I'm like, what the heck is this stuff? And then someone gave me a reading, and then I just felt compelled, like, okay, I got all this stuff coming through. I go, can I say something here? And boom, 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 boom. And they're like, you do this too? And I go, apparently I do. And I didn't know it. And I gave everybody this reading. Like, holy crap, how'd you know that? I mean, I never met these people, right? And we could talk about how we met in your story.
Right.
And So basically, well, go ahead. Yeah, talk about that. How did, when we first met, actually?
Well, this was all, everything that he's describing now was prior to meeting me. You know, living his life, coming into his own spirituality. I I had a little different situation. I came to Arizona from New York, from Buffalo area. Go Bills! And I my husband passed away while I was here, and after that is when I had met John, and it was very shortly after, about 6 7 months after, and I had gone. I decided I was going to take a yoga class, and lo and behold, I call the studio, and John is the owner and instructor, and I didn't know anything about it at that time, so I went in, and sure enough, it wasn't. It might have even been. I think it was the very first time I was there. A lot of information began coming into him, and he started to tell me things, and I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know he was intuitive or anything like that. That's why I call him a medium, because all the information about my deceased husband began coming through. And he never met me before, didn't know anything. There was nothing prior to that. So I was shocked, and he asked me, "Do you want to hear this?" And I said, "Yes, tell me." And he proceeded to give me the whole story, his death, how he died, what he wanted to tell me. Even at the beginning, he almost didn't trust it, because he said to me, I see you have a wedding ring on, and I just hadn't taken it off yet. But he had been dead for a number of months. And so I heard the whole story, and I was completely blown away by it. There were no coincidences there. I knew it was true. I knew it in my heart. That he was able to.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming that I have to say something. If I don't say something, I don't feel good. I get this yucky in my belly, and it's like, okay, I got to release this information. I mean, they're pounding on me, But I basically like, "Are you married?" And she's like, "No, but my husband, I said something like that, and I go, "Oh, my husband passed away." I go, "Because I got somebody here, and I got do you want to hear this?" And she's like, "Yeah," and then boom.
All of it came out.
And it's
Amazing.
like, that's how it happens sometimes. It's so overwhelming that they're like, you're like, "Oh, but, I don't, it's like, okay, well, what's going on here?" And then once I do it, okay, woo, I relax.
He has a definite physical reaction to it if he does not listen and follow it.
Yes.
I came to know that over the years of being with him. There's certain things that happen.
Which is why,
in a physical sense.
Which is why I don't really like being around crowds. I don't like
Right.
a lot of people. It's too sensitive to it. I can sense people. Even going to a restaurant, I can sense people as I sit there, and I'm like, and we're just eating. All of a sudden, what? Like, it's like,
Right.
what? Okay, somebody over here.
I remember when at first we were dating, it was very difficult. He couldn't go into a movie theater, or he tried to, but he had to leave. It was too much.
Way too much.
Couple of times. So I learned more so where he was comfortable going and where he was not comfortable going.
Right, which is not a lot of places in public. Till this day, I still don't like big crowds.
You manage it, I think, a little better now than you did back then, but still, I know it's still bothersome.
And people have this thing about, they say turn it off. I don't buy that crap. Whatever, you can turn it off. I don't think you turn it off. It's just there.
It's not turning it off.
The more you use it, the more
you're able to deal with it a little.
Yeah. It's like a muscle, If you work it, But the whole getting back to the doubting thing is, where's this coming from? You still, even to this day, like, what are you doing? Like, is this real? Like, is this real? Like, I wrote this book, and it's out on Amazon. It's called, what is it? Jesus Speaks. Right? Mm-hmm. In his own words, or the man, the myth, right? And I'm writing this book on my computer, and I'm like, this stuff's coming through, and I'm going, what is this stuff? Like, what? Because it feels like it's just channeling, and you feel compelled to sort of write it. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Is this real? Like, what is this stuff? It's even still after all this stuff. So, yeah, it's another thing. Yeah.
Years.
Getting back to when I was living in my car, I was at a campground, KOA. I didn't finish that story. And I was dead broke. My ex-wife at the time, we were had no money at all. And it was like living in the car, and we're like, man, I got sick. We need to get back. We don't have money. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, walking this campground, KOA campground in Silmar, California. And all of a sudden, it was payphones back then. There was a payphone that rang, ring, ring, ring at 2 in the morning. There's nobody there. Oh, we go up to the phone, we go, what is this? And all of a sudden, all this change drops out of the phone. Like literally, back in payphones, you have to put the money in, you know?
Right. You
And
had
then
to
there
put
was
the
a little
quarters
thing
in.
that would come out. Yeah.
Right.
And that little thing fell down, all this change dropped out, which was enough to get us gas, right? And then we went to the gas station, and it got us a couple hot dogs, right? It's crazy.
Wow. If that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is.
But my point to that is, so, you know, and then I think we went to the gas station. She actually asked a stranger if they would help us out, and they gave us money. So she was really good at that. And then we got back up to California because I just was not well, you know. But even that stuff, these miracles occur. I was, you know, at my fast forward in Arizona, you know, where I live. This was my second house in Arizona on Los Gatos, right?
Right.
In Glendale, Arizona. And basically, oh no, forget it. Scratch that. This was the condo in San Jose. I see like orbs. Light comes out. I see orbs in the house. I mean, literally, like, what is good this?
Mm-hmm.
And then in Arizona, I see
balls of light.
these orbs that fly over the window, and I'm like, as I'm having a conversation like this, talking all of a sudden, I'm going, what? Like, did you guys see that? Like these balls of light just flew by. So then give her this reading, right? And don't know her from Adam, and where's the stuff coming from? So even today, I am cautious of doing readings. People said, you got to do readings. I don't really like doing readings. I know I probably should do readings. I don't like doing readings probably for what you don't think of. Like, people just generally don't listen. But where, you know, you still doubt it. My point is, you still doubt it. You still like, go, where is this coming from? Because it's so opposite of what we're taught, right? We're not taught this growing up.
Well, you're indoctrinated with things that you
It's
just
not even
can't
being
release.
It's not even being indoctrinated. I guess it is, but it's just it's
is.
not a part of life. It's just not a part of everyday living. It just isn't.
Well, that's true too.
And so we don't ever really experience it, right?
No, right.
Unless you're around people who do. You know, because my whole friends changed. People I've known forever, I don't even see anymore, right?
Right.
So, I mean, this whole other group of people came into my life. But even today, we do readings. I go, well, am I any good at this? Am I still, I mean, you know, you go, you nailed it. And I hear all these people go, what, how did you know that? And I go, you know, you still, after seeing all these miracles, all these things, all these validations, you still kind of go, what? It's kind of like the carnivore diet, you know? I mean, it really is. It's paleo diet. We follow Ken Berry, right?
Right.
Paul Saladino, of course, Gary Brecka, my guy, Dr. Jack Wolfson. He's really good. He's here in Arizona. He was a board certified cardiologist who basically had a wife who's a chiropractor who said, hey, you're killing people, you jackass. You know, pull your head out of your ass. And he got knowledge, and he went, shit.
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
And he does, you know, he wrote a book, Paleo Cardiologist. If I get a link, I'll post it here for you. But and my book, I'll post a link to as well. Jesus Speaks. The Man, the Myth, the Legend. Is that what it's called? Something I forget. But anyways, so my system just blanked out on me. There we go. So, even with all this, I still doubt. But back to the carnivore. Eating meat? You mean just meat? Isn't that bad for you? Cholesterol? I mean, as you do it and you get your blood work and you see your numbers drop, they actually get better. And you're like,
how can that be?
How can that be? I thought this is supposed to be bad for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You eat vegetables and you're supposed to be a vegan and, all this stuff. And
food pyramid and all that.
Yeah, grains and oatmeal. And,
don't believe what they tell you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, what the heck? But I adopted a paleo lifestyle and lost a ton of weight and numbers dropped dramatically. And yes, I did have bad bypass surgery because that was years of bad eating.
Unfortunately, he didn't come to this information until much later in life, and he had already lived
the typical American diet
unhealthfully for years and years. So, now he's got to undo all those years of.
So you're saying fat is good? I mean, it counteracts everything, and you still, as you eat it, you go, how can this be good?
I know. It's very difficult.
And it's the same thing with how is this, even when I channel, you're like, what? What do you mean channeling? So it's a part of life. I guess the whole reason behind this is we just saw this. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because if you go through life and you're doing something completely opposite of what you've done, but it feels so right, stick with it.
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart. Stick with it. Because I know life is frustrating. It can be very frustrating, incredibly frustrating at times. Stick with it. We're frustrated, right?
Well, yeah. It just seems like things don't ever go your way, and you're fighting and fighting and fighting to, maybe that's.
Well, sometimes when you step out on a new horizon, it's so different. But I think the thing you fight the most is the brain saying, look, we're used to doing this. This is what we want to do.
Right.
But your heart is saying, I want to do this. This is where I want to be. And so doubt's a part of it. It's okay. It's okay to be a skeptic. Just don't stop. So
there you go.
Food for thought, guys. Hey, thanks for listening. As always, hit the like, share, subscribe, share it out. Remember, positive thoughts, positive deeds, positive action. We appreciate it. We're looking for not just views, but length of views. Even if you leave it on and walk away, let it run. I appreciate it, guys. Check out the links we'll post for the books, and have a great rest of your day.